However, what if white plays bishop d3, trying to block things? This is the patterns Fiddler mentioned. You can actually crash through here. Crashing through with rook takes c2 check. We will continue the coverage of the Magnus Carlsen Invitational. Prize fund $250,000, first place $75,000. In this matchup, we will be looking at Anish Giri versus Magnus Carlsen. Giri ended up taking this match, to everyone's surprise, by winning 2.5, 1.5. In this video, we will be looking at the final game. A quick player introduction. Magnus Carlsen, 29 from Norway, world number 1. Anish Giri, 25 years old, Dutch number 1, world number 10. Carlsen has white, Giri has black. e4, c5. Notice Giri only needs a draw in the 4th game, and yet he chooses the Sicilian. Very interesting opening choice, because he only needs a draw to win this matchup. Knight f3, d6, d4, open Sicilian. Take, take, knight f6, knight c3, a6. We have the Najdorf. Bishop g5, the sharpest line against the Najdorf. e6, f3. The first surprise, but not really a surprise because Carlsen has already played this against MVL back in December 2019, 2 games. The critical line is f4 and we enter some very sharp variations, but he repeats bishop e7, queen d2, castle, castle. Already we're going to have a fight because both sides have castled on opposite flanks. Black has castled on the king side, white has castled queen side. b5, planning to go b4, so white stops it with a3. Bishop b7 and king b1. The way white is playing, white just wants to get a game. White's setup is not critical. Knight d7. Typical placement of all the Najdorf pieces. The knights defend each other. The bishops are on b7 and e7, with a pawn chain e6, d6 and b5, a6 as well. Queen e1 played and now rook c8. Here there was a tactical shot with knight takes e4. If you play knight e4, bishop takes g5. First question is you can't play bishop e7 because knight takes c3 will be check. Then you take back and then queen takes bishop. After knight e4, if white goes knight e4, bishop g5, but maybe knight d6 and the knights look very dangerous, that is true. So maybe Giri didn't want to go for this. Bishop can just go back to d5, and the knight on d6, it looks deadly, but maybe it's running out square, so it's possible just to go back and then bishop e7. And the game goes on. Rook c8, h4. Bishop c1 is a cool computer option. The point is to give white the chance to go g4, g5. So for example, if knight b6, g4, queen c7, h4. And in a position like this, because white has struck on the king side, black can play a move like d5 and have a nice position. The game goes on. However, h4 was played by Magnus, queen c7, rook h3. A rook lift to defend the knight on c3 if white can get f4. But the rook here just looks so strange. Rook e8. Now it does look like Giri is ready to strike. h5. Pause the video to find a tactic. How can black crash through? I'll give you 5 seconds. Knight takes e4, bishop takes e7. First question, why not knight e4? Because bishop e4. And if you go bishop e7, black has the intermezzo, the in-between move, bishop takes c2 check. And then after take, you take with the queen with check, the king moves, and then rook e7. And then black is much better. So in the game, bishop takes e7 played. And black has to throw in a check. Knight takes c3, check. B takes c3 and then rook takes e7. Notice white cannot play queen takes c3 because you just take and then rook e7 and then black is much better. White's queen side is torn apart. Back to the game, knight takes c3 check, b takes c3, rook takes e7 and now for Magnus's idea, knight f5. In the game, Giri took queen e7 and then queen takes c3, but I want to have a look at a stunning move, king f8. Wow. Just defending your rook and arguing that white's pieces just lack so much coordination. If you go knight takes, rook, king takes, the king is very safe on e7. If you go f4, allowing the rook to defend, then knight c5, and black has really good counterplay. The knight can go to e4 or to a4, you can't stop both. Attacking white's queenside, the bishop can come to e4, d5 as well. So this was one option. However, Giri only needs a draw and he saw a very forcing line. So from a practical sense, a great choice by Giri. You take the knight, queen takes e7, and then queen takes c3. White is up in exchange, but the rook on h3 is doing nothing. Queen takes c3, threatens queen takes c2 check, so white goes bishop d3 and knight c5. Great move from black. The knight can go to a4, or it can take on d3. The black bishop can go to d5. Also, the knight on c5 defends the bishop on b7. White lacks coordination among his two rooks. Bishop takes f5. Pause the video to find a tactic. What did black play now to force a very nice looking perpetual? I'll give you 5 seconds. Giri played knight b3 and the game ended very soon. Also, knight a4 works. I want to look at this because I was listening to the commentary on Chess24 and Peter Svidler mentioned this very nice pattern. Knight a4 threatens queen b2 checkmate. So king c1 trying to escape. Queen b2 check, king d2, queen d4 check, and the king has to go the other way. Queen g1 check, and then there's a draw this way. However, what if white plays bishop d3 trying to block things? This is the pattern Svidler mentioned. You can actually crash through here. Crashing through with rook takes c2 check. You can't move the king because queen f2 will be mate. If you take the rook with the king, then queen c3 check. Forcing the king back to b1, then queen b2 checkmate. A nice pattern mentioned by Peter Svidler on Chess24. Knight b3 was played by Giri, and king a2 now by Magnus. Using the fact that the rook on d1 defends the a1 square, so you don't have queen a1 checkmate. Now what happens if you take? Then queen takes b3 check, and black is the one who will win. King a1, you can take the rook with check, king b2, check, forcing the king up, and it has to be mate soon. Rook c3 check, king b4, queen takes a3 checkmate. Back to the game, king a2 played, and knight c1 check is a very flashy draw. In the game, king b1 played. First question, why not rook takes knight? Because bishop d5 check, the king has to go back to b1, and then queen takes a3. All this time, white has not had the option to take the rook on c8. Queen takes a3 means queen a2 will be checkmate next, so c4 is the only move to block, and black is ready for a draw with queen b3 check. Swapping between b3 and a3 and it will be a draw. King a1, queen a3 check, draw achieved. So after knight c1 check, king back to b1, but Giri just goes back with knight b3. Really cool move. Once again, threatening checkmate on a1, so Magnus goes king a2. Once again, the rook on d1 protects the a1 square. And then we repeat, knight c1 check, king b1, knight b3, draw agreed. Anish beats Magnus 2.5, 1.5, winning this matchup. At the moment, here are the standings. The top 4 are Carlsen, Nakamura, Caruana, Ding. When this part of the tournament finishes, these will be the 4 players that will go through to the final stages of this Magnus Carlsen Invitational. Check out one video here and another video over here. If you enjoyed the show, why not give it a like and subscribe to the channel at the same time. Don't forget to hit that bell to get notified each time I release a new video. Thank you so much for watching.